Englishman. We play and emphasis on the Friday engagement, and we said we're gonna be here tonight. It's a new day, and you, God is so God is so great, and you know, uh, this is time that we see, God is just doing more things in our life, in the life of our brothers and sisters, and it is a time to, to talk about. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the issues. The is actually on your yesterday on violent and human trafficking, the role of women, and when you look at your life, it's so you can feel so bad about things that not right. But again, this is a time that discuss about the issues yesterday, and our continuous discussions every Saturday, and Friday and Saturday, and we these are with some music, and actually in what we believe in. Oh yes. So as you join us, I don't know where you are, I don't know what you're doing right now, but if you believe Christ, if you believe in Him, you're great, and look at your own feeling about what actually happens to domestic violence. What is your role as a woman? Okay, wherever you are, wherever you are. We are here tonight, and I think is about yesterday. We talk about this great great and the reason why the topic was great. We had people like uh, Metad, you know, this lady had, had a passion, and we're going to be talking more about it, about her vision, more, and she and also Dr. Shirley, and all those did not actually appear. Then we could talk about these issues of getting into the show. Look at night some things that we discussed, and if you are here tonight, look at issues of violence, your role as a mother, your role as a wife. What are some things in our community level? What are some of the things that you see that is not feasible, not good? You see, what is actually the role of the mother when it comes to the whole thing about domestic violence and human trafficking? Now, the information we have for you is simple. If you look at the role we play as human or as mother in our well defined responsibility. When I talk about well defined responsibility, I'm talking about the role that a mother should play in whatever situation that is in that particular home. Women have the power, and because we have uh, talk about community and we talk about community engagement, then we key actors can play in the community, or there's no role that we can play in the community. We're getting involved into some of the things that we go through on a daily basis. So on Facebook, we we talk about this yesterday Eastern time, and we discuss about the role of women in prevention 20 to millions in human trafficking. They are all indicators. A lot of indicators. If you look at line rate, something like 46 million traffic, and it is true in modern trafficking. It is true. Of course, it's alarming. How we and I bring some points, and let look at the issues of the one that has to do with the point of getting involved, putting your child. Let's look at that as John Reddick, you're ministering to us right now. Let agree that we don't have the opportunity, okay, to address certain issues, and maybe the issues of domestic violence, maybe the issues of human trafficking, and it's something that is actually affecting the world, affecting all of us. And in this time uh, of our life, it's time community engagement. It's about time for us to begin to look at the issue. And for those of us who didn't have the opportunity to join us, it is about time as we amuse yourself and begin to look at the word prayer, begin to look at yourself tonight. And we will be coming tonight at midnight at 1 o'clock time on the empowerment hour. This is time of the community replay yesterday, and we have time to talk about it. And what is your view now? Look in your community and see what is really the problem. Look in your household now. There are some women and there are some mothers who probably and really immature. And if you look back here, we discussed yesterday that sometime just 18 years, probably we that child already reached the year of maturity. So let's put that child out. Let child go out to fish for themselves, which is a law. Well, 18 years become a man or woman. Let's look at those factors. Look at the alarm rate of trafficking. Those are factors that clearly state, and those are the things that happen to most of them when they leave and get out there. Sometimes they go out, they become vulnerable because they are not reached maturity. In the African setting, well, we agree that we can do it, but then at the end of the day, probably we keep the child, we keep them up to 25 years. Some of them go to college. What in the African setting, West setting, some area, but in more cases, we can see that most of the kids when they get out, I want to go out now. So that also could be part of the causes of trafficking and domestic violence. Why we're gonna be talking about it more, and as we look at the reality, that what the domestic violence talk about is prevalent. That many of the kids have issues, a problem, that not even think about it. And for us in the Christian home, for those of us who are in the Christian home, and we're thinking about, time we talk about community engagement, to just a community issue to the church. So we actually, when it comes to church, when it comes to what whatever religion you believe, we believe to. Okay, join us in the next 5 we'll be back. Those of us who really want to believe of that, which we as looking at that community, the community of believers, um, when we look at trafficking yesterday, and we look at the way people are treated, and in their community, and sometimes they face not only prosecution, but they believe that those things that happen to them may have been a cause from the parents, and they leave the home. Now the church, looking at the church responsibility. What can the church do? Okay, let's discuss it, and let's find a common ground. I don't know where you are. I don't know what is your position. Okay, when we talk about community engagement, the global mission is all about the entire world. It's all about talking about the issue. At this time, we come down to the level of the church of the people to understand what is the impact the church is making when it comes to human trafficking. We may have we talked about it? Have we in the mosques, or whatever religion you belong to? It doesn't stop us from making progress in whatever thing that we're doing. So tonight, we want you to know that with this topic, the only way we can really go into whatever thing that is bothering us in the world today is when we take our time and know that whatever the case may be, topic except ourselves in our society. Church has a greater role to play in this domestic violence. And when you look at the whole thing about our life, we're talking about the life of believers, trafficking and domestic is crucial. Okay, 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 okay. You believe in the life of Jesus. You believe that, he died for us. Yes. We're going to be talking about this in our prayer time at 1 o'clock tonight. But let us look at the aspects of the the sector of the church, the community of believers, and you're looking at domestic domestic violence, and you look at the word domestic violence, and you see how domestic violence has taken roots. Okay, it had taken root into the church, and tonight, where you are, probably you might have to call. Look on the screen, and probably you can call WhatsApp. You can call on especially the WhatsApp. That is WhatsApp, and let know some of these things. How can we prevent it? Preventing it from the church level, preventing it from the community level, or preventing it from whatever religious sect you belong to, because the issues about domestic violence and human trafficking begins from right there in the home. There are some parents, okay, that you man for yourself, or you woman for yourself. Find a place to be. I'm able to keep you in the house. My husband or my wife and I cannot be here. You here because you're a man for yourself. Now you can go. So what do you think about that? I think like I was discussing yesterday, it have created a lot of issue, a problem in the life of the young people who really did not know that was not a time. And as I really did my study and continue to do my research, I realized that violence and human trafficking are actually the root causes of those things come from right there. And and some of them, if you look at cross sections of the youth, that feel that well, it's good. I'm ready to go, and I able to go. Thing, those are areas that you can look at because you can see that everything that we have encountering right now in society is at the result of that. That they decide to go into life earlier at maybe at age 20, age 19, or age 18. But that's what the law says. Was that actually a time? Was that a time? Or is it ready fading for them to go? Or probably maybe, when you're looking at the time, how are you giving yourself some time? Okay, and I don't want to go into it more, but as a consultant, as I look at it as a pastor who have been in this area, I see the church can die it. We can go back, look back in all our cases in every part of the world. We understand that some of the murder or whatever that been uh, commit intimate femicides of inside. It's on the rampage. In other words, when the boyfriend or killed fiance or this just take the life of his fiance, the whole it becomes intimate femicide. That is a crime. But before it happens, uh, what what was it? Probably maybe that I pay and meet up with this person. Now they are in the home, and so what do we expect? We expect good thing, but if bad thing comes out, what is our own intake? What can we say about that? So we look at the cross section of what we've been discussing, and what we the community engagement is discussing is that, look, let agree let agree that we have this issue, the issues of looking at people and just taking them to be where they are not in the communities, in church. You see, when the community of believers, the reason why we meet is so that word can become a change, resources, or some or channel that is going to pass the process that is going to take. Or if the word is given the way it should be given, then of course it can play an impact in the life of believers. Now, let's look at the reality of the fact that we find ourselves into a situation that will worry us, and it has brought us to the place where we say, okay, I agree, I'll walk out of this home because I'm older. Now I can go. And we find and go up there, and well, we are caught up thing that we not to be caught up with. So what you think, is going to be the impact? Okay, what do you think is going to be those issues in our homes? Sometimes we play, some people will say, don't care. We start off with the children very nice and the things are fine. And, well, the way to look at us insult our own parents. Sometimes, and listen, Christ came to die for us on the cross. He had told us all who believe in Christ. The community of believers will be in one accord. So within the church, we're going to be talking more about it. Uh, you can actually detect when it comes to trafficking and survival in the church, especially among our members. How can you tell that something is going on in our family, something is going on with daughters, something is going with that or with a boy that is in the church? It's like members that you talk to them, you pray with them every day. And I encourage us in the world. When you look at community believers, I would say, let's agree that we are one. But there are different divisions, different denomination barriers are there. And what happens if daughter or one of my flock or one of the members is being abused? How would I know that our member is abused? By prayer or for discernment, and through some of this, I see the sound bruises on the face of the lady, of one of your daughters. All the time she's saying, before she comes on the stage, she cry. There's a cry of the same. You see that, well, open for you what is going on in the home. And of not you try to say it all there and let people get to know. There's no confidentiality. And we're going to be talking more about next week when it comes to how can we prevent domestic violence. We talk about the community level. Yesterday, it's about the congregation is over. We're talking about the issue of, the role of women. Look at your role in the home. Probably, like give one instant. One of the parents got annoyed and then said, "Look, let cut this marriage or this relationship." You have kids. Those kids are still young and they still need to be nurtured. Right now, you have made a decision to separate or divorce. So in the midst of it, probably those four children now, or three children, or one child now remain with the question of who takes the child. Okay, we agree that as we discuss this issue of trafficking and domestic violence, we agree that maybe the mother takes the child because the child is still young. It depends on the law in each domestic laws, but let agree in this section that the child actually goes to the mother. Okay, the child goes to the mother. Now the father don't have time. The child grew up to be 7, 9, 10 years old, and then that child is getting probably something to go and sell. That child takes it, and goes to sell every day. She doesn't go to school again, especially if it become a female. What do you think happened to that child? That child becomes vulnerable and advantage of the child. Probably maybe the child will be trafficked or the child have been abused. But what is the cause of the abuse? Go back there in our community as we age. Go back there, who what the father and the mother have a vision, have a discussion, they confuse, they came together again, and the child. So what is the role of the mother? The role of the mother to what? To prevent it. Well, to make sure that you take the child and make sure carry the child, make sure that child goes with her and she takes good care of that child. But if she starts sending that child off herself, she exposed the child to trafficking, expose a child to violence, being vulnerable. Those are most factors. But then that lady also belonged to a church. No longer go to church because of the situation in the home. Probably go to church to the altar all the time, praying for the man to come back home, or probably for her problem. So there's a church that believes in believe that, well, we see what to do. Sometimes the pastor talk about it. Okay, let's see. But the pastor did not do anything except the person should come to church in the morning, and at the end of the day, that lady go to church, or they continue to go. Going right in the home is not been actually taking care of the cause. Well, there's no time. As pastor, we don't have any time to talk about it. Or maybe our interest is not there. In other words, when I talk about interest, I'm talking about when it comes to the person makes us responsible as pastors and leaders. What makes us responsible is when we begin to discuss these issues. When we begin to look at the world, human trafficking. When we begin to look at the world is a crime. When we begin to look at those words, those two words, and we begin to understand what effect. Listen to the long-term effects of mothers, of women. There are a lot of people in the world that are affected as a result of domestic violence. And people have been affected as a result of domestic violence. They, they, this long-term effect is something that was really on book, and I came across, I did some intensive research on the long-term effects, and I was looking at one of the long-term effects of a lady. She exists, she's very active. You can see her, but at night, like in the night, you can't really see effectively. Long-term effects. So that person is like, well, they have been affected only because they were trying to do the best they can. There was no prevention. There was no way to stop it. Because usually, those things happen, and we overlook. We and we overlook it because, well, we are African. Sometimes we don't realize, especially African, even if in the Western world, people from different part of the world come to America, they experience it, or some of them conceive it, and be mindful of the sound of voice, and this time, be mindful about people who can conceive, and they don't say anything going to the problem. They just conceive it and think that, well, it's going to be better one day. So they keep it. Sometimes some people cannot come to life to explain it. They cannot live to see the end of it. So our community engagement, like we keep pushing forward for us to begin to push the religious sects groups. Because I tell you what, I'm not going to call religious name, and I'm not going to call name of different group of people who marginalize on women's rights. But I will tell you guys that there are many organizations, people are in, and those institutions are there. Just the society, the society. When you marginalize people want to excel, you keep them in a position where they can excel. Talk about, but they're not looking at, we look at it because, well, it's not affecting us. We look at section of some of the people that have been affected. It's a question: if this lady was well actively, if she was not on disability or in this kind of situation, what would she do, or what what done? Sometimes you start to predict because you look at in that woman, but because of domestic violence, because of trafficking, go to Dubai, go to different countries, Oman. Those countries actually it's at a low, not low income, but at a rate of actually abusing a lot of women and men only because of trying to find a green pasture. But some of the green pasture, like, I'm like, yeah, I want to call anybody, but there's a guy he God now, but he's been there a long time, and he left his kids. He got more than 8 children. Now one was able to come to us. He came actually. He got involved into relationship. You know, as it the relationship cannot even do what he expected up to this time. He like frustrated. Hmm. What happens? What happens? All the truth. You see, when you begin to look at the effects of the thing that makes domestic violence prevalence. Sustain the rights of them. How can we do it? We cannot do it. We cannot do it when we ourselves don't have the passion. Now, I was talking about passion and to have passion for something and to have ambitions for something and be ambitious to do something. You have to give it all of you, and the passion you have is it could be driving you to do it. The mind that that you have, that's your passion. You see people life ain't the way you see it, and you really don't see it the way God sees it. And so you're trying to advocate, or you try to do the best you can. So, but you look at other people on the other side, probably on the main street, but not because saying about it because they don't have passion. That's a difference between so because they don't have the passion, they're not going to talk about it. Even if they talk about it, they're not going to do anything about it. So the most private thing you can see that a passionate person prioritized the things that they're passionate about. The one that focus on prioritize based means so they prioritize because that is what they really want to do to get okay to better their life. So they go focus on it. So those who are in the area of advocacy or different groups, it is again my word to all of us that where you where you stand in your relationship with God, what you stand, because there are times that we will not be able to talk about this, and there are times that we'll be able to talk about it in our home, in the church. You see, the reason why we emphasize the church tonight and in these special times, we don't realize that the church is like a pillar of a community, and the church is a pillar of the community. Like Paul will be expressing this in Philippians in his walk and with the church, and walking with your faith. You see, when you have faith and don't actually have works, That means when you don't believe that you can go forward, or probably you can overcome that situation that you've been going through, but you got to walk out of it, because if you don't walk out of it, what happens is that you're going to remain into a situation that you never expect to remain in. So looking at your own time, looking at your own investment, time investment, time factors, you're still on stake, in this ministry or with this relationship. Has it done? What is it doing? What is the next step to take in order to find yourself out of something that's not going to be thinking about how you're going to make yourself available to people who will take advantage of you. Taking actually the role of women, the role of our mothers is very simple. It's like one of the discussant, one of the speakers said yesterday, that probably it depends on us. It depends on the home. You can have a second alternative. Okay, your second alternative would be to lock the door. Your second alternative would be to go to the neighbors, or probably to find some way that you can rest. Okay, that could be your second alternative. Okay, but you must have an alternative. Another decision. Now, if this doesn't happen as I look at it, it's not going to be well for me. So I'm going to leave this home, or I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Okay, so then it depends on our responsibility. It depends on the church, looking at where you come from, looking at the community you belong to, looking at the people that are around you. How many of them are ready to take you there? How many of them are ready to work to see you there? So that is the part of this whole thing when we talk about the community engagement on Friday. So at this time, we come back in, like it's not a replay that people come to speak, but as I come, play some music and get you awake, and begin to point to us those indicators and some of the things that we need to understand, either to walk out of it or to just walk from it. So like I said, the church is like a kind of role model, or should be a role model to many of people in the community. So if the community of believers that's supposed to be an example, or probably maybe the source of the channels in which our another group of people will pass through in order to make that thing happen, because the lady is going through her time. You don't know her, but you have access. You might have access. Okay? And it is this access that you have that you don't know her from. And now you see it visible, and you say, okay. So you are trying to help. You are trying to help. If a woman is actually involved in certain thing, and she play her role as a mother in the house, but if it's not being, okay, she doesn't want for her daughter to go out there, because her daughter actually stayed innocent. The father wants the daughter to go. So there's a struggle right there. So to prevent, the word prevention means, for something to not happen, or to stop something from happening. To prevent it, it means you as a mother, the step that you are taking, might be in a positive sense. Well, because it affects the child. And that child is, let's agree, the child is 10 years old, or the child reached the age of 10, well now, and thinking about going to another school, go there and graduate from the 12th grade. By the time that child reaches the 12th grade, or about to graduate, they changes something, they want to go on their own, and then you say, okay, I think that's what you need to do. And parents, you as a parents, you agree for that child to go. And when that child goes out, that child is, and you are not there, You guys will be sitting, and the child is going in the community among the peers, and probably you don't know the kind of group he or she with. That child just 18 years or 19 years. You say, okay, go. It doesn't prevent if there's a place where you go to do all your work and you're in that place so much. Places close when you're on your way, you just call, how you guys doing? So that there are instances and there are times in our ministry's work. Yes, we present it to God first. Because some people come to the and not even know them. You don't know what's going on in the homes. So God is saying something to me. All we need to do in our prevention, I can be a father of the home, to community together or to bring the church together. Sunday. Is it take God to talk to us people to church Sunday morning. Only God. Okay, some of them will give excuse. Oh, pastor, I've been sick, and you pray for them, yes, but you don't wait on them. You can't. You cannot. Cannot. And so we can things for ourselves, and to let it happen, or for it to to be the same, or for us to take step before it reaches a place where we can get no hold of it again. And it happened to many cases. And so we can get involved. We can, the community engagement, for short, Sam, it's not just going to be just a kind of organization that we just talk about something and then leave it alone. Now, some of the things we are doing here is just one, to reach you out and to begin to give you the information that helps you to prevent. Now, prevention is like we said, prevention is better than kill, but we can try to do it. We can try to prevent, no matter how difficult the society seems to be, cracked society. No. So Christians, let's look at our communities. Yes, I agree that everybody have the denominations, and there are denominational barriers religiously that is adults allowing people not to come, or making them to get weak to come to church. So you look at the church. If the church is not actually being part of the situation of some of the children, some of the members being trafficked, or probably being abused. So if we're calling here tonight, or probably have the time to call, with a lot of information, we're going to get all of this, all of them, which I know. But what am I saying this? I'm saying this to say that a community of believers, as we engage each other, look at our mission, training, information sharing, and reaching out there to give more information on trafficking, human trafficking, and domestic violence, and religious tolerance. We got disability rights, and all is about bringing change to our communities. For the church level, if you see that the church is tactic, is becoming a place of music, a place of just drama, the sense of understanding we are responsible for this is what's going on. We got to hold ourselves responsible, and we got to walk away from it, because we are not going to sit in this place that they happen. And and probably maybe the children leave service and you're allowed to go. Most of the children go, they don't go home straight. That would not prevent. Are there? Oh, okay, okay. I'll see you guys. I see you tomorrow. Okay, you're coming back tomorrow. Okay, y'all take your man. They gone. It is time for begin to look at the society. How many of us here for 100 years plus think you're going to live for 100 plus? Fine, that's good. I want to live like that. But I think in order to preserve society, for us to begin to look at the effects, the indicators that this is why this thing happened. Let's say, for instance, probably 10 children are working. Let's say agree 10. They have three parents. Those three parents actually are there to encourage them. But because of the situation, those parents now leave them. So no one will come from the blue sky. No one will come from outside there to say, "Oh, you got to leave. You got to go now. You got to go now. You got to go now." Nobody. And so I just want to say that to look at the setting of our contemporary time, the 21st century. And I heard people will say sometime, one day, I'm looking at one of my brothers in the church, it's been some time now. We worked together one time, and we're talking something. Said, "My man, one day." Now, when I see him, his age, he's my big brother, so his age is not. It's been out of the calendar ever since. But when you look at it, the only thing you can say by the grace of God, He can do something. That God is an impossible God, that we know. But the fact that God is an impossible God, it doesn't. You don't push God to the place where something that is not possible. So I come pass here tonight to say, if we apply it in our community, in our church, most people come to church and someone goes back home. So the community of believers have a deeper role to play, bigger role to play in preventing domestic violence. We have our prayer time with them, or probably our own individual prayer will also help. Well, it is our individual prayer that makes them. Oh yes, 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 yes. Okay, yes, okay, okay. So I can think two ways. As I conclude this live, I want us to begin to look at the community engagement, global mission, as we look at the future about where we're going, and we know where we are, and we're thinking about where we're going. So we can only work together if we agreed. We cannot. It's almost like husband and wife. She cannot work in isolation of what you would want. Okay, despite the children going to demand. Okay, so looking at those factors that are tying our society down. Look, human trafficking and domestic violence are real. The reality of this situation is prevalent. We can see it. So I want to thank God for this opportunity again, and looking at the question whether the church can get more involved by raising massive awareness, like you see Cheney King and how to call him Robert Slope. They have their own institutions. They both of them have their own institutions. Everybody working. I have my own institute back home also, the Children Assistance Rescue Mission. Here back here, I'm this community encouragement global mission is going to be an organization that actually focus on uh, equity, equitable distribution of resources. When we talk about human rights training, well, there are a lot of things involved with this whole stuff. The bottom line tonight, as I share, is that how can we get there? Like we are trying to get there, right? And we are creating a lot of ways to people who have these some of these problems, some of these questions in their mind. Why the church is going through this? Why why did I go to the church? Why? Why would I be in the church and they're not concerned about me? All this I'm going through, they don't even know. So people ask those questions because you know that is responsibility. So responsibility, as a goal with human rights, we want to question as this section here is very overwhelming. That we're able to balance our time, even though we stay shaking. But I believe that the church, its own organic organism or in its own pattern or the foundation or whatever group is or community of believers. Okay, it should from right. There are times that we speak and there are times that we are silent. So I want to fight for this opportunity for you guys. And I say this again. We're going to be coming up here next week with application. So, wherever you are in the world, whatever you are doing, I want you to understand that you cannot go with knowing Christ. You cannot. All we need to do as him or people who believe in a God belief, when you see your fellow man or your fellow brother, you can, you in maintaining the right would be for you to be perceiving what you're saying. Now, I have a problem when I in closing. Let's agree that I part of the Institute for Diplomacy. I've been part of it, and I'm not a regional director right now, but I'm still starting, right? I think I feel part of what they're doing. If I'm given responsibility, I'm still going to I do my part. But I would tell you, man, there's some problem in partnership, but which should not be in partnership. So we cannot alleviate when we keep being self-centered. We cannot alleviate what we are, or probably we don't express what we say or want to be like, well, why I talk about this, Jarvis? What Jarvis? I'm Jarvis. I talk about this when well, I can just tell the people that I would my supporters there. I would be part of this thing. Well, sometimes it seems to be unfortunate that uh you're never being seen as very serious. In my closing, we're going to be coming up, next week to talk about the very contribution, volunteering for whatever work we want to do. But the first thing I always hold myself responsible for or get to is when I say I want to be part of this thing. I don't easily get into something, and that's who I am. I'm not passionate about it because I don't want there and be silent. That's one point. Solomon said, it almost like the lady or your spouse or your wife or your husband discussing, and she already want to discuss with you, bring things before you to change, but you just like Bobo, you just like I have to say you You don't want the second one, or this person should be the only one to talk about it. It's serious. I was having a meeting with one of my staff, and I was telling, I said, we got to get serious about what we're doing because this is a different era. This is not a time to say, well, I'm waiting for this thing or this thing to happen. You got to be driven by the passion you have. If you're not driven by the passion you have, man, I'm sorry. You just probably come around to just be seen. Information sharing is very important at the community engagement global mission. Very important. Our sis Mita and Janet and I will be discussing wide range of ideas and understanding the way forward. Others are like Reverend Michelle and myself also will be discussing during the weekend the way for what we want to discuss and what we want to do. Others who want to be part of it, like Onika Shelley, we're going to be praying about, already thinking about what. We have people coming up. The next, on the 31st, I think, is going to be the last presentation. Next week, we're not going to be having many things. I'm going to be away somewhere. We have not concluded on that yet. Sure, that I don't why on the car or why I'm there in PA. I'm going to be discussing more about engagement, and I have more time to let my voice be heard. One thing I want to say here, and I will say here, is don't ever allow your vision, your passion, to be other people's passion. Like let them see it, let them feel it, let them believe in it. That is the bottom line. And when you want to get in something, the church as a whole or whatever organization, you get into it and show that your presence is felt, and that's who I am. If I tell you, well, I'm not changed, I don't want to be part of this thing, that means I don't want to be part of it, because if I get involved, the people that are there will start to get jealous, because what happened is that they are spectators. They are not fans. And this is an era, I'm telling you, man, those of us who want to be part of what we're doing, for Liberia, Trinity, and all of us, we must be participants. I believe in God that, well, it's not just about coming on the shoulders, it's not just about talking about this issue, it's about being part of it. When you are out of it, when you are out of this studio here, I don't want to talk about what is going to be happening to us, believing God for it. So much pick up opportunities, but I will tell you guys, those of us who really want to be part of what God wants to do, we have our different institutions, we are partnering together, and I think I can see it, that the partnership can go further and opportunities come. But in the beginning, in what we're sharing and what we must be part of is passion. It's when I'm driving or when I'm on the street or somewhere, I'm emphasizing, not that I'm emphasizing on Christ or the work I do. Why? Why is it not coming on? Because I'm serious about what I'm saying. Now, people will take you on serious when you act as if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. As someone who says something 3 years ago, and I was, last year I was like, but what is going on with this person? And it makes me to laugh sometimes, because I'm involved in something, right? The more time you lay emphasis on what you believe in, you take it to be serious. People don't take it to be serious when you say something today. Tomorrow, next year, you're on a different ship. Probably maybe you're on a ship that you feel forgetting about what you have to say or what you said last. And so I want to encourage those of us who really, really, really are part of this faith. It's simple. If you have some time, you want to get part of something. I don't get part of anything, because when I get part of it, the reason why in my conclusion here, I don't talk more about setting our church or it's It's because I want to be part of it, and I don't want for people to get envious because I'm talking, my voice is up like that, or probably getting more time because it's my area. So it's if the area probably you just want to get involved in helping people find. No, people got a lot of charity organizations, passionate people, but they're not ready in the area, and it's not going to make it more impact because what happened is you're showing that you really serious about it. And I will tell people back since I started what I'm doing, way back when I was getting the first ever. I didn't know how to that disabled boy. There were two. And some disabled children, and we had some other things back down the office at the time. This is a passion. This is not just something we just want to do. So when I see people, I know that they might have not have the passion, but because they have the opportunity. There are two different things. Or one can have the opportunity, probably, and have people to help them, and but don't have the passion. And I was talking to one guy that was in the area. They were discussing about going to college, going to Bible college, to to ready to this whole pastor thing. But man, my brother is over there and he's trying to link me so that I can get ministry. And I was right there, and I looked in the face and I asked him a question: do you feel called? He said, "Oh, brother, what you?" I say, "Because you got to feel the call and sense the calling of God." You see, beside the ministry, into your passion in the ministry and what God is calling you to do, this is a very heavy task that it covers up a lot, not just meeting on Sunday morning. Like we talk about the ministry, it is not just meeting on Sunday morning. And so I just want to thank God. I want you to focus on your real passion. And, as we look at the community engagement and some of the things that help us to develop is by being very frank or being patriotic and be able to, partnership which we'll come to, is all about dual together. It's one-sided. The other person is not doing it, but they just only particular about themselves or only what they think, which is it's not a partnership. It's just about let me just come. There are people who are collaborating partner with us. Yes, I like that coming to have on the show. But people are like they were talking about some other things, and we're going to be going into some some agreement on that we can be able to work to have this thing up. It's all about the business. This is not about being you silent. And why you want to be silent? Be just maybe behind the door and just hear the one, which is not for the community engagement mission. And I want to call on even CARM and Children Assistance Rescue Mission, everything that I'm doing. I believe in God. I believe that passionate people, not people that are silent, that are not people that keep, maybe not able to push up to talk for people. Just feel, well, I think I like it. It's better to say it and to get into something and put your time to it. We might have the opportunity because opportunities can come. There are people that got money. They can rise up one day and say, well, I think I need to give my money. Yes, you develop it, and sometimes you develop it to the place where your passion not gets so strong. It can happen. But in more cases, people don't have the passion to do it. They see other people, they want to get involved. Really, you see that the passion was not there. But we can develop the passion. We can still develop the passion for the thing. Like I was talking about, something I can have ambition to do my best, very much strong to do because I have to get money to feed my family. I got to work, right? But that is not passion. That is my obligation. And business is not passion. To be passionate about something, it beyond even doing the business because you're going to get something for it. It's extrinsic motivation. I'm doing intrinsic motivation. Why it is true, I believe I'm doing extrinsic motivation. I dominantly do intrinsic motivation, especially for the community service and what we do. It's not normally in more cases to receive rewards in terms of what we minister back to people. No, so I don't mix it with business. I think when it comes to the business, that the business be not far from it, because there are some cases where you come to, you don't receive anything. You go through what you go into because you want for people to understand. You want to pass this information, or you are ambitious about it because you see that many people are ignorant about it. Christ said, well, you brought nothing into this world, and it's saying that you are faking nothing. Look, nothing with you. Go and preach the gospel. Freely I given to you, freely gave. Now, not that he was saying. The same Christ said in the scripture that minister to them spiritually and minister back to you materially. Paul expressed that also. Your gift for you. So let us put ourselves into what we're doing. I believe Chinikin has been there for time. He's been sacrificing. He's a guy focusing. We have Samuel. We have other guys coming bold. But listen, this is not a joke. If you are here about what we do, my life is my ministry. My life is what I'm doing. And so whatever you're doing, life, my business, everything I put my hands in is my life. It's your life. And so let us not light do life good off. Let us fight and continue to do what we do. Engage everyone business. The church must get involved, and others must make this thing lively. Jarvis will be around tomorrow. And like I said on our setting, it's for the children to come. And I bless you guys until I meet tonight in prayer time at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And then tonight, I don't want to give the prayer here, but I believe in God. He's at the empower the hour and please, let us in our prayer time. I believe in God because He gave me a different spirit in this era. Nobody can take it away except nobody can believe it, because God is so faithful. So God bless you guys, man. And everything we do, let us put our time to it, because we know that God have called us to do it and not man. Thank you.